I think sometimes we think we lose the sale on the 7th page of the proposal 6 weeks later. I don't agree with that. I think we often lose the sale in the first 15 seconds. Everybody that we deal with, all of our customers, all of our prospects, they all have a personal communication style. And they have a style that they prefer. And one of the things that we've used with our clients and many people are familiar with is DISC. And DISC would say that there are 4 styles. And one is like the eagle, right? So they're the people that are out in front, they're very competitive, sometimes they're loners, they're super aggressive, and they just want to win. And those are the D styles, and that's how they see the world. But then there are other folks that they're more like the parrot. So they're happy and chirpy and they're friendly and they'll even wear outlandish bright clothes. Sometimes folks will dress in their preferred style. But these are people that are very people oriented. They're very warm. They're extroverted. They want to know who else are you working with? Who else is, who's coming? They want to know about your family. And those are the I styles. And then there's another group that are the C styles, and they're like the owl. They're wise. They have all the answers. They need to know. They're going to get all the information, and you have to interact with them in a very, very different way. And then finally, you have the S style. So the S style, they're the steady, reliable people. They're like the dove. They're peaceful. They want to keep the peace. They're usually not out in front leading, but man, they make great lieutenants. They don't need to be in the spotlight, but they love to be on the team. These are folks that often don't express their opinion, but they have opinions. They're slower in their decision-making process. And if you push an S style, they'll not just be done for you now, they'll write you off forever. You don't, if you send a D style, a 7-page proposal, they're not going to read it. And if they do read it, they're going to open it up to the last page, and they're going to see how much money it's going to cost them, and they've already decided. They decided when they were talking to you.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to overload them with a ton of information, right? You want to be directly to the point. The D style, you walk in their office and there are trophies and pictures of them with the governor, and it's all about them. So the I style's a talker. They tell stories. They're warm. They love people. They would sit, in fact, part of their challenge is they'll spend 3 hours sitting there talking to you when you plan for an hour. That's part of their challenge. Is they're too fly by the seat of their pants, and people and stories and all that are important. So I think a lot of times we want to go 70 miles an hour and we miss things. With an S style, I want to think about frame by frame. If you go too fast for them, that's perceived as aggressive. So it's easy to see what a train wreck that is. Here comes the S style on this track, wants to go slow, wants to be patient, may need a little extra time to make a decision. Here comes the D style, Mr. One Call Close, and it's a train wreck. And you wonder why we didn't get the deal. It's not because our price is too high. It's not because they didn't see the value. It's because we just didn't connect on a personal level. Because if I'm going 70 miles an hour, I miss stuff. If I'm going 10 miles an hour, I'm able to see things. So an S style is maybe a little more methodical. I will tell you though, it's interesting. I think S styles maybe, in my my observation, S styles make really good salespeople. They make really good salespeople. And all salespeople, they want to be a D. So when they take the assessment, they're trying to game it so they can be a D, because that sounds like the fighter pilot and but actually the S style, because if you think about it, S styles are people oriented, but they're introverted. They're ask first, talk second. They're warm, and so people typically they build trust pretty easily, and it's never about them. They're more understated, and I think they make people feel comfortable. Naturally, they're very like rocking chair, warm fire on a winter evening type people, and I think people will share things, and people will confide in them, and in sales, that's what I want. I want to be able to figure out what the challenges and the problems are, so I can figure out if we're a fit to help them. And then if you go to the C, think about the C like the owl. So the owl is wise, the owl is who, the owl is asking questions, and they're the ones that when you come in and you're disheveled and you're like, look, this works. I mean, look, we've got a lot of happy clients, and they're gonna want to see proof. They're gonna wanna see examples. They're gonna wanna see data. They're gonna focus on ROI. If I spend $1, how much could I return? And they're gonna be very skeptical. Naturally, they're gonna be very skeptical. And sometimes it throws us off when we meet that C style. Sometimes they're hard to sell to because we think they're negative, and it makes us emotional. And we just have to understand that I've got to come in with data and facts. They're not warm and friendly, so I can't let that throw me off. And so they're a completely different sell than the I style. They're not numbers driven. Matter of fact, they're people that they know they're out of money when they run out of checks. It's that sort of life is fun, life is awesome, fly by the seat of my pants, and they show up and make a call on your guy last night, the C style. And here's a guy who wants data. He wants legitimate numbers. He's thought about the conversions, and think about how quickly they're dismissed when they don't have any of that. So the credibility, the trust goes completely downhill. And so what I've got to do, and I think that the magic in this is, I don't want to disingenuously try to be something I'm not, but I get paid to be flexible. If I'm a business owner or I'm a salesperson, I get paid to be flexible. And so I don't ever want to be disingenuous. I don't want to be something I'm not, but I've got to flex a little bit. So if I'm naturally an I style, and I know that, okay, I'm calling on Chris. Chris he's kind of introverted, and you know what? He's not really warm. He's more of a task-oriented person. He's probably a C style. Okay. So how am I going to handle this call? Well, I need to make sure that I've got my numbers down. I need to make sure I understand how we came to these numbers, because he's going to ask me. I know he's going to ask me a ton of questions about the numbers and the math and the process, and so I've got to be ready. And so that guides my decision. On the other hand, if I'm a C style, and I'm selling to the I style, and I come in with charts and graphs and numbers, they're going to completely disengage, because here's what they want to know. They want to know, who else are you working with? Who else uses, because they want to be a part of the bandwagon. They want to be a part of the team, and they're all about people, and they want to know your story. If they're going to be one of your customers, they want to know, hey, Chris, how long you been in business? And, tell me about your family. They want to get to know you personally. And it's a completely different sell than the charts and graphs guy. And so being able to identify people's preferred communication style is really important. And I think I think sometimes we think we lose the sale on the 7th page of the proposal 6 weeks later. I don't agree with that. I think we often lose the sale in the first 15 seconds. And it's because of this stuff. It's just, we just don't relate. We don't, the C style sees the I style, and they seem fly by night and seat of the pants, and they make a judgment, they make an impression, and they just decide that, I'm not going to do business with them.